Alright, welcome back. So, today we're reviewing the intersectionality activity we did Wednesday, going over the topics of race, sex, gender, religion, socioeconomic status, immigration status, abilities, sexual orientation, age, and language. Okay, so starting at the top with race, I'm white, family's all Northwestern European, you know, like British, Polish, everything like that, so I have a lot of privilege there. Um, uh, Growing up, though, my stepmom is Filipino, so I at least had some perspective growing up into non-white culture at base level, I guess, because I mean she didn't grow up in the Philippines or anything. I mean she's second generation, so I mean at least I had something growing up. The places I grew up were actually not predominantly white. And my mom's, I grew up in Wayne, which was bordering Inkster, Michigan, which were predominantly black, Mexican, or I guess Latino, Hispanic. My dad's house is in Dearborn, which is predominantly Arabic population, Lebanese particularly. So it's not like I grew up in just like a full white town. Like there was a lot of culture around me. So I really appreciate that I grew up with like a mix of cultures and not just like some podunk town where it was all just everyone was the same thing. Yeah, no, obviously I do have a lot of privilege because I'm white. I've never had any backlash because of it. Like, there's no people who are against me just because I'm white, which other ethnicities do experience. I don't think there's anything I haven't really thought about before. Like, I've taken a lot of sociology classes, women's studies classes. I've always been around other cultures, so like I've always like recognized that I have privilege there. Sorry, my roommates that yelled something from downstairs. So I think obviously there are things to learn, but I don't think there are too many surprises out there for me in this category. Moving on to sex. I'm cisgender. I identify as female. Was born female, raised in feminine. So that's about that for that. Obviously there are some shortcomings in being a female in a patriarchal society, but I think a lot of strides have been made to even that out, so I don't think it's particularly because I'm a white woman, like I don't experience a lot against me because of everything. I mean, I guess just short fallings at like work or something, we're just like, you're weaker, you can't do whatever, which isn't true. I'm usually stronger than most of the guys I work with. Again, I don't think there's a lot of like new things in this category for me. Like I said, I've taken women's studies classes, sociology classes. I was huge into social justice warriors, culture, feminism, when I was younger, in high school and everything. Like the adamant, militant feminism, I guess. That was again for my stepmom. Like she was super into it. She got me into it. So yeah, there aren't a lot of like new things on that subject for me to learn. Gender, like I said, I'm cisgendered, so there's a lot of privilege there. Like I'm obviously not going to face the same struggles that someone who is trans or agender would experience. I did think for a while that I was genderqueer, just because I was, I really like like traditionally masculine things, but I think that was just me being a tomboy and like learning about new things and thinking, oh, maybe this would be me, but it's not. And again, not really anything new on that subject. religion. I was raised Roman Catholic, which gets a lot of shit. I mean, like, I still wear my saint's necklace. I still occasionally go to church services. I don't necessarily identify with it anymore, but out of all the religions, Christian religions anyway, it's the one I identify most with, just because it's original. It's the OG one. That's why I stick with it most. I just really don't like Protestantism, partially because I was raised that way, to not like the Protestants, but I also don't agree with a lot of their viewpoints. Like, I disagree with them more than I disagree with the Catholic Church anyway. But I think there is some privilege in being Catholic as opposed to I mean, there's definitely privilege when it comes to like Islam or like Judaism or like any other religion. So there's, I guess it's Christian privilege, but within the Christian religion, there's I would be lower down, I think, because I mean usually like the in America anyway, Protestants are higher, and then you can get to like the Catholics, and then Orthodox Catholics would probably be under that. So I guess it's lower on there, but like again, no one's ever yelled at me for being a Catholic. I mean, maybe once or twice, just being like, "Why do you support this church when they do all these things?" And it's like, I'm not that supportive of it. Yeah, and really nothing, no surprises on anything, no new things to learn. I went to Catholic school, so I know most of the trials and tribulations of it. Social economic status, I said in class that I was raised fairly poor. No, that's just like, sorry. Yeah, so we didn't have a lot of money, especially at my dad's house. Like, our house was mold infested, like floors caving in and everything. I mean, we always had enough to survive. I think partially because I was an only child, so they only had one other person really to provide for. Yeah, and I grew up in like a pretty trashy area for my mom's side of the family. My stepdad especially was just white trash, trailer trash, gross stuff that I just want to separate from, like, really badly. Like, it's what I grew up with, so like I was kind of growing up, I would kind of think along their lines, and then as I got older, I was like, oh, that's gross. That's really bad. I should not be doing this. I should not be supporting these people. So I've just been pushing away from that. It was a little more eye-opening for me in the class, just seeing people who were like put on food stamps, or who looked like they were really struggling. Like, we were fortunate enough to not have to be on food stamps, because I mean we had enough to like just be above that level, but there were points when we were looking at the possibility of having to be put on that. But yeah. Hey, immigration status. Born and raised in America. The whole family's born and raised in America. I mean, if you want to put generations on it, we're probably 4th, 5th generation. I think my great-grandma came over when she was a baby. I don't know, it's not important. Yeah, so I really, I'm obviously very privileged that way. I don't have to worry about anything there. And again, with being white, I'm not going to be questioned on anything, like, oh, did you really come from here, though? Like, where are you really from? I'm not going to be questioned or bombarded with anything. People just accept that I'm here, and I'm supposed to be here. But, like, I do know people who look like they're supposed to be here, but, like, we're semi-illegal immigrants. There's a family of them in my high school from Ireland. They were, I think they overstayed their visa, but, like, no one said anything about it because they were white, so they just accepted that they were there. Yeah. So ability. Um, I don't have dyslexia or anything. I do have chronic pain though that affects most of the things I do. Like, I got it from my mom, so like I just have chronic, horrible, horrible pain. My mom's like dependent on prescription painkillers, and like she's even gotten like multiple epidurals for her pain, and like I'm not about that, so I medicate in other ways. Um, Meditation and other things, just trying to cope with it all and have it not affect me. But as I get older, it gets worse and worse and worse. And yeah, I'm not able to do a lot of things I used to be able to do because of it. Um, yeah, other than that, I'm pretty able-bodied, or I am able-bodied. I don't really have anything else. I joke about that I have number dyslexia, but it's never been diagnosed or anything, and it's obviously not as debilitating as like real dyslexia. It's just numbers, I guess. That was a little bit of a tangent. Yeah, but like because I'm able-bodied, like I don't think a lot about I don't think a lot about some of the things that non-able people do. Like if a store doesn't have a ramp, I don't think about it not being accessible to some people. I don't think about like what are those, the bumps they put at like intersections, so like blind people can tell it's about to be an intersection and they should stop. Like I don't think about things like that, and I know it's because of my privilege. Like I don't have to think about those kind of things, but I should be more mindful of them. And there are like so many other disabilities out there that I guess unless you have them or you know someone with them, like you're not really going to think about them. And so I think just a lot of people should be more mindful of people who are not able-bodied. Okay. Sexual orientation. This is a loaded question. I identify as queer. I get a lot of shit for identifying as queer because people are like, "Oh, it's a slur, blah blah blah." But I'm not comfortable with calling myself bisexual or pansexual. Those don't really fit for me, so I just do an umbrella term within an umbrella term. That's what I use. So I do get some pushback for not being straight. Like I have members of my stepdad's family who wouldn't talk to me if they knew I wasn't straight. The rest of my family is all very accepting and very, my dad's side is very liberal. My mom I've been working on to get to accept it more. She still slips up sometimes, but we're working on it. Like I'm not like, I'm not gonna say that. Age, I'm 21. I don't know. I guess there's really nothing for me on that. I guess I'm in the prime years of my life. Yeah, I really don't get told. I don't think I've ever really been told that I'm too young or too old for something within the last few years. Like, people are just kind of like, okay, whatever you're. I mean, it's a college town. So I really shouldn't expect it. Because most people here are around this age. I've gotten once or twice that I'm too old to be a delivery driver, but again, it's a college town. No one else is going to be able to do it, really. But I guess, like, I did get what, like, some people in the class were saying that, like, people think they're too young for, like, the major that they're doing. Or saying they're too young for something else. I know that the one girl was talking about how, like, she always hung out with, like, an older crowd or whatever, and she was always like seen as this young person hanging out with that older crowd, which like same. I was an only child. I only had, and there were no kids on my block. I only hung out with adults. I only knew how to have conversations with people who were 40 or older until I went to until halfway through middle school. I finally figured out how to talk to people my own age, and I still have problems with it sometimes because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm still used to talking to older people. It's just easier for me. I think it's because I'm quiet. They just are able to deal with me more. Yeah. Language, I speak English. We're in a predominantly English-speaking country. My grandma's a little pissed at me that I don't know Polish, but other than that, I don't have an accent or anything. There aren't really any other barriers or boundaries. So obviously there's privilege in that like I'm not gonna like have any shortfallings and like no one's gonna call me out for speaking another language in the grocery store because I'm speaking the language they're probably speaking. Yeah, but like I do get that some people have problems with language, like especially people who are like who speak two languages. Like my boss, he's from the Middle East, and like he switches up a lot of times, and like sometimes he has problems with speaking with English, and sometimes people have trouble with his accent. So like there's obviously a difference there. I don't know what I was trying to say with that. Yeah. So what was it like to listen to different perspectives that were shared amongst your peers? It was nice to hear all the different people because, like, I'm really bad about having preconceived notions about people because I pick up on smaller things and, like, I kind of figure their, I just have preconceived notions really quickly, and hearing aspects about them from this activity helped me learn more, I guess. It didn't make me uncomfortable. Like I said, I've been huge into social justice since I was young. I mean, I've taken a million psychology, sociology, women's studies classes. Like, I know these subjects by now. I'm used to hearing all different types of things. There are many surprises for me now. But I think it is good for, like, a lot of people to hear all these different things because sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you think someone comes from, like, a privileged area or, like, they haven't had to deal with much, but then you find out, like, oh, they were poor or they are in, like, a disadvantaged group of some other kind. And it's good to hear these things because then you kind of let go of the whole judging a book by its cover sort of thing. I'm sure everyone else's videos have said don't judge a book by its cover, but whatever, I'm going to go along with it. Yeah, so you should be open to all perspectives and open to all kinds of walks of life, and don't be a dick, and accept people. Yeah, alright. That's good. Bye.